Okay, so I'm sure everyone is aware that SINoALICE Global has announced that it is reaching its end of service on November the 14th at 11:59, which is in UTC time, 2023, November 15th at 4:59 UTC. They have also laid out a road plan about what to expect between today and then, being that as of this morning, actually, from when time of recording, purchase of in-app currency of Twilight Crystals has been discontinued. Followed by, on the 15th, the game closes. You will not be able to use any more TC. You will not be able to distribute or download the game. And they will accept any refund requests for unused paid TC for the game. This is, how do I say this? It is a lot of bittersweet moments because Sinnoh has been quiet, and I guess, including myself, it's been a lot of, they're not announcing anything. What's going on? Are we actually EOSing? Because I know the running joke, sort of, the running meme in the community is that, oh yeah, SINoALICE, when is it EOSing? When is the end of service? But at the same time, it's just like when it actually happens, everyone's just like, oh shit, oh shoot, it's happening. It's really happening. The game is ending. Our SINoALICE dream is ending. It comes as a surprise for me as well, mostly because I was actually in the progress of moving my guild from one time slot to a different time slot, like 9 hours after. I was running through all this, like, rehoming everybody that couldn't make the jump, and now it's just like, okay guys, EOS is coming, we're all staying in our previous TS, and we're just going to march on to the very end. So, yeah. SINoALICE has one of the best and most amazing community that I think out of any game that I probably have joined. Like, I know, yeah, there are also, like, the toxic aspect of it as well, but, like, you know, the community does come together, and it's, like, the only game that I find that just, like, everyone just really likes playing the game. As a GM, we stress about, like, as a GM myself, it's just like we stress about, oh yeah, attendance, recruiting, getting people together, sorting problems and all that. But in the end, it's just like, yeah, we really like the community, and like in a way we kind of wish it would continue, but at the same time, it's just like we understand that with their own reason, they have their reasons for wanting to discontinue or end the service of the game. A little bit of part of me is happy because I get to be freed from Sinnoh, much like everybody else is just like, oh yeah, we're gonna be free from Sinnoh finally. No more of having to log in at like this exact time to play 20 minutes of Call, especially if you're a comp player. And like, for me, 5 hours of strategy planning. Yeah, let's get free from that finally. But at the same time, it's just a little, it's definitely sad though, because it's just like I made so many friends in this community that I still talk to. Like, even if I met them long ago, it's just like they discovered me through Sinnoh, and like we still talk on like Discord and everything. And especially like I know that some of the Royal content creators as well, like I've met up with them offline as well, and they're really great people. And I kind of wish I would be able to meet every single content creator or Royal creator out there that was part of the program. And yeah, it's been a wonderful pleasure being a part of the community as well as um, the content creator group, especially for community. I've met a lot of people, as I said, and it's like, yeah, just getting to know everyone, especially because SINoALICE is such of a diverse community, because not only do you have people playing in North America, I've met people playing from South America, I've had people play from Europe, I have people playing from like Asia. It's like you get so many different, you get players from all around the world, and you get to start to know them, and you start to understand like, oh yeah, there's this going on, or like there's a culture shock here. It's just like, oh yeah, you get to learn about people from all around the world just from being part of this community. And that's not something that I usually find in like other games as well. It's just like, oh yeah, you couldn't make it to Kahlo, is everything going on, everything okay, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, I do care about all of my members of my guild, and I will very much miss playing with them and like fighting alongside them in Kahlo, and like just like talking with like other GMs as well and conversing with them, kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that like community aspect of the game, and I don't think I'll be able to find it in another community. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, to be honest. But what I did was like, I did going through their news and development on their website. I did like write down everything that happened in Sinnoh in the last 3 years. So if you're interested, I'm gonna be reading them all out. It's a lot. It's like 2-3 pages, but yeah. If you have any memories, or or you're a day one player like myself, I hope this journey through time, memory lane, going down memory lane, is something that you'll be able to remember. Like, oh yeah, I remember that event, kind of thing. So yeah. So how do I do this? How should I do this? Let's see. Let's see. Word document. Ah, there you go. Now, I'm gonna put it, oh, that's not supposed to go there. Oh no. Yeah, no, it's not supposed to go there. Ah, there you go. Alright, cool. Now, I need to move this. This is more stuff than I'm supposed to. Okay. Okay. No, wait! This is... Well, I'm gonna have to move myself at some point. Okay, let's move backwards a bit. Okay, now, this is my lovely Word document that I will use to explain or show you all the events that happened. since the start of Sinnoh. So, on March 23rd, 2020, Pokelabo announced that SINoALICE Global was going to launch 100 days after it was announced. Also, I never practiced this, so bear with me. SINoALICE up to this point was a game that was released in Japan. And so on July the 1st would be when Sinnoh would launch globally. There would be 2 servers. There will be one for Asia, and there would be one for the States, US, and Europe. On July the 1st, SINoALICE Global launched with over 2 million pre-registered players in 139 regions. On July the 13th, SINoALICE Global surpassed 1 million registered players under, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong to be honest, registered under Asia and US EU server, and Little Mermaid was introduced. On July the 16th, we got the Nier Automata collab, which was first collab for the game. On August 2020, we were introduced to the first Grand Calo, and also the first seasonal event, which was the Poacher's Feast with our beloved Lammy the Clam. And that's where things got competitive because it's Grand Calo and everyone's like, oh yeah, Grand Calo, okay, let's play. Let's see who's the best of the best in this game. So, on August the 6th, it was then announced that Nier Replicant collab was going to be starting. On August the 25th was when we were introduced to the 3 Little Pigs release. On September the 17th, it was the Space Invaders collab. On September the 24th, it was Dorothy release. On October 20th, SINoALICE had its first global grand election, the fairest character of them all polls, where everyone voted the best character or their most favorite character in the game. At the end of October, because I don't have a general date, we had our second seasonal event, which was the Halloween Werewolf event. On October 30th was the release of Active Reality. So not too long after the start of the game. On November the 4th, it's supposed to be Winds. On November the 4th, it was somewhere around there. So all of these dates are like general, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. On November the 4th, Snow White was announced to have won the SINoALICE Global Grand Election number 1, and we'll be getting a special skin. Oh, special class. We'll be getting a special class because Snow White won. On December the 10th was our first Christmas feast event. On December the 21st, they announced Project Fusion. And if you're not there during Project Fusion was essentially announced to eliminate some Coliseum problems and player-based problems, because I guess one player base was lacking players, or like combining the two would have been better player base wise, because one probably had a little bit less players than another, and they just wanted to merge it together. So it was the merger of the Asia server and the North America EU server. So that was the start of the announcement. That was when it was announced, and that was when we was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get a merger. Okay. So on December the 27th was their first SINoALICE Live. This was the 6th month of Terror special. This is considered the half anniversary event. I can't remember what was announced there, but it was one of those like really cool like 1 hour programs where they had like actual games, like you could see the host playing games. They had like special hosts, MCs, and it was really cool. I think they only had 2. I can't be too sure. I think they only had like 2 of them that happened. It was cool to watch. Even though it's like the concept of it was new to me, but it was really cool to watch. And on January 4th, so this is now 2021. On January 4th, 2021, the Royal Creator, which is a content creator program, applications opened. So if you wanted to become a content creator, you just had to like submit a video, fill in the form, and hopefully you get in. On January the 31st, the first batch of Royal creators were selected, including myself. Yeah. I was in the first batch. In February 2021, Asia and NA-EU server merged to become SINoALICE Global. Well, SINoALICE Global under one server, essentially. So you had like a lot of players from Asia. So you had like the TS time slots in the early morning, like TS12, TS13. And then you also had the servers that was like TS2, TS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all of those. In March of 2021 was when grid swap feature was announced. In August 15th was when our first Sinnoh times was, I believe. I'm getting correct me if I'm wrong. Also, if your memory of any of these are different, please leave it down below in the comments. Yeah. Let's just reminisce about everything that happened in the last 3 years. And your best memories. And best memories. On August 16th was when our first first collab. No, second collab. Third collab. Something that was not near collab. Something that was not Yoko Taro collab was announced. It was the ReZero Starting Life in Another World collab. On August 23rd, end of April, was when Aladdin was released. On May 21st, we got the Rose and Maiden collab. On May 23rd was the 10th anniversary of Grand Hollow. It was Grand Hollow 10. We've had 10 Grand Hollows in that before first year, which makes sense. On June 2021, I think we got like this fishing collab, question mark. It was like a game. It was based off a game. It was very surprising. On June the 22nd, we got the Near Replicant Redux collab. No, we got the Near Replicant collab Redux. Yeah. Collabs after collabs after collabs. Those months were just collabs after collabs. It was the time when it was just like things were starting to speed up and we're just like, whoa. This is a lot. We don't have enough TC for this. But, speed! On June the 28th, we were introduced to support classes, which was beneficial for us because on the first anniversary of SINoALICE on July 1st, 2021, we started getting the Sin classes, which we started off with the Proud Lion Nightmare Alice class. Yeah. And New Story, of course. On July the 13th, 2021, a Hamelin class and international classes were released. The international classes were characters based in outfits that represented different countries from around the world. On July the 14th, the first World Grand Hollow PV was announced, where this was basically Global and JP pitting against each other at the end of the year. They're just like, oh, are we ready for this? I don't know if we're ready for this. But okay, it seems like a cool concept. I don't know how it's gonna work, but okay. Is that why we're getting so many? Anyways. So many banners? I don't know. So on August 19th, 2021, Rapunzel was released. Sadly, on August 25th, it was announced that French, German, and Thai language support was going to stop. And all of those players that were originally playing the game in those languages would have to play in English. On August 26th was when we got the Gems Company collab. I actually forgot about this one. But yeah, that was when we got the collab. And a month later, in September 24th, we got the Code Geass collab. September 30th was when we got Chimera Conquest. And this is significant because we got Chimera in 2021 of September, and we never got another rerun of that Nightmare or a paid version for 2 years. Almost 2 years. So Chimera the Nightmare was very valuable, and it really did change the game, especially in the competitive field. On October the 27th was our Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Exvius? I can't pronounce names. Collab. I'm sorry. Fire Emblem Brave. Yeah. And on October 2021, that was when they introduced the Coliseum replay, which allowed you to rewatch a match if you needed to like figure out like, oh yeah, what happened kind of thing. It was very janky at first, but it did its job. It did its job. It did what it needed to do. On November the 2021 was when our first SINoALICE was, and it was also when they introduced character outfits. SINoALICE was significant because it also helped the game decide who was going to represent Global in World Grand Colo. Now, at the end of November and into December 2021, World Grand Colo took place. The guilds that were representing Global included 2SL, Lady Crime, 404, Loveless, Aogirichi, I hope I pronounced that right, I'm sorry, Toxic Brotherhood, and Western Union. That was also the time that we also were introduced to WGC classes. At the end of World Grand Colo, the victor was announced, and it was Lilian from JP. It was one of those where it's just like, Global tried its best, despite the fact that it was a first-year game versus JP, which was years in advance. But it was an interesting concept. Definitely a lot of work that could have been done. But it was very interesting to watch, especially if you're a player watching the final matches in game kind of thing and just trying to cheer on during the time the global guilds that were participating. On December 26, 27, 2021 was our 1.5 anniversary, and the introduction of new international classes and auto farming, which was very beneficial for literally many players that was farming the events. And it was great. It was great. Also, there was like shooting gallery that was introduced, and I'm pretty sure it was first anniversary. Don't quote me though, but I think it's during first anniversary. I'm not too sure. However, sadly, at the end of 2021 was when they ended Spanish language support. Yeah, and Spanish was probably another very large community as well, and without that support, it was much hard. It definitely did impact the player base. But you also do have like content creators that luckily did create videos that translated English to Spanish so that members who only spoke Spanish were able to understand what was going on. And I'm very thankful that we do have content creators like that now, even if it's games ending in 2 months. Yeah. On December 28th, we got the Black Butler collab. So it was Black Butler Book of the Atlantic event, and this was memorable because it was like after Christmas event, which was a shooting gallery, and it was double shooting galleries, and I just remember like members just like, we don't have any purification tickets, we don't have any skip tickets. Oh, this is oh no, we want the Black Butler collab had better gear too than the Christmas one. I was like, so that was memorable in a bad way, but you know, it was interesting. It was like, oh, we should probably have a shooting gallery. like maybe a couple months down the line, right? Not like 6 months. But yeah, that's a different story to tell. On February 2020, so this is the year 2020 now. On February 2020, Active Fusion was released, and 3 time slots were eliminated from Grand Calo. Or not really eliminated, but you know, the entry didn't count for Grand Calo. You couldn't register for Grand Calo in those 3 time slots, unfortunately. In March 2022, Little Match Girl was released. In August 26, 2022, Cookie Goody collab was announced. Now, if you notice, 2022, this amount of information is much less than like this 2021. 2021 was there's a lot going on in 2021 leading up to the first World Grand Calo, and then 2022 is just this amount. Now, granted, this was what I found in the SINoALICE website. It could have been that they were slow, like they didn't upload as much news release, but that seems sort of accurate for me. There was definitely some like Sin classes, workshop classes, divine classes that were definitely released in this 2022 year, and even 2023, which was not included, and that definitely did change the meta of the game. And also strategy for the game changed as well. It went from more like AoE versus AoE to like trying to farm and like inflating the life force pool, so that it's just like, oh yeah, it's about life force now at this point for Grand Calo. It's like whoever has the best life force, whoever can farm the most life force will reach overall top like U32, especially when it counted during Sin Calo. And I didn't include any Sin Calos in this too. So on June 10th, they announced that there would be a second World Grand Calo, despite the fact that everyone didn't want it. But you know, it was something that's like, it was viable. They made some fixes, they made some adjustments. It was going to work. So that started. We went through the progression again of doing Global versus JV. On July 1st was the 2nd anniversary, and we were introduced to the character tree. The character tree feature was released, and yeah, it did. There was sub-limit breaks and like limit break stuff that was included there, which was very helpful. In summer 2022, Recycle-A-Grimoire was announced. Between October and November 2022, second World Grand Calo took place. The global guilds that participated in this second World Grand Calo included Milk Void, Western Union, Luminous, Eastern Union, Auto Goody Tree, 404, Almond, and Brotherhood. The victor of this second World Grand Calo was Lillian! From Japan. But definitely Global did make it further up the like the last member standing compared to the first World Grand Calo. The second World Grand Calo, they were more prepared, and they definitely were able to fight back, and it was really great to see a Global guild make it past like the first round, make it as far as they could go in the WGC. It was very inspiring. On December the 20th, we had hoped that if there was a third Grand Calo, like a third WGC, that Global would be able to make it into like the last 4 or into the finals as well. Or I hoped anyways. On December the 27th, 2022, the anniversary was announced. However, it also meant the end of Korean language support, which was, if they were coming from the Asia server, that was also a very large part of the community as well. And now we're going to lead to 2023. Okay, in 2023, on February 2nd, we got the Full Metal Alchemist collab. And that was how we started the year. It was great. We got a collab right off the beginning of the year. Especially because we didn't have any collabs after for 6 months. It was really nice to start the year with a collab. In April of 2023, Active Elimination was released. And we got introduced to EXT classes, or the 4% disadvantage. On July 1st, 2023, we celebrated the 3rd anniversary of SINoALICE Global, and everyone, like me, was just we were surprised, but we were happy that we were celebrating 3rd anniversary. We're like, oh wow, 3 years, we made it 3 years, really. But yeah, I was so happy that the game was still going. Even if we were joking still consistently that it's just yes, EOS win. We were so happy that we saw that there was still the community that was still around kind of thing, even if we were sad to see players go here and there. And on August the 28th, we made it to our 8th Sin Hollow. That is up till yesterday. This morning on September the 1st, 2023, after a very quiet 4 weeks, PokeLavo announced that the end of service was coming, and they presented to us the roadmap leading to the last and final 2 months of SINoALICE Global. This roadmap included that on September the 11th, it would be the 38th Grand Hollow, being the first preliminary hollow for Sin. On October the 2nd would be the 39th Grand Hollow. It will be considered our last Grand Hollow together. And on October the 10th will be the last Sin Hollow that we'll have together. And at the end of that Sin Hollow, we will be able to determine who is the best out of the best of SINoALICE Global before the game ends and shuts down on November the 15th, 2023 at 4:59 UTC time. Yeah. That is all the information that we have right now in terms of what we are to expect. There's no other information on what is to come, or sort of what else we'll be getting, because right now there's no events right now. The only thing we know is that at the conclusion of Sin Finals on October the 31st or November 1st, they will release the final chapter for SINoALICE Global. At the end of that chapter, it does lock you out of the game once you finish that chapter. So I would say if you're usually someone like me who does skip story because you want the TC, I would highly recommend, especially because it's near the end, to really read through that chapter, and hopefully we get a unique chapter that's different from when the Taiwan server was EOS. Let's hope we get a unique server specific to Global. But I would highly recommend reading through that chapter before you complete it and ultimately are locked out of your account. Yeah. It's been an interesting but fun 8 months with No, sorry, 3 years with y'all. I've had fun making content, like making videos, like recording matches, talking with everybody, strat planning, learning how to strat plan, learning how to like manage a guild of like 14 other members, resolving issues, talking with other GMs, resolving issues between guilds, especially during matches. Having to learn how to like let go of players, replace players, recruit players, accommodate, and everything. I don't know. It's been a fun 3 years. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll try to the content creators and I will try to see if we can collab with something. Whether that is like Among Us collab or a podcast. There are definitely things that we have left to say about the game and such. I don't know. A lot of retired players. If you've been in the Discord, you'll probably notice that a lot of the retired players or players that just left SINoALICE years ago are kind of rising back up and like, oh, EOS. Let's walk down memory lane. So yeah. Also remember to do this big thanks free Grimoire times 11 thing that they just kind of threw at us. In addition to the end of service notice. So yeah. I know for sure like the global team tried to do their best in terms of fixing or trying to make things better for the global players. Yeah. They did what they could. They did their best. But ultimately, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The main story will conclude with the currently released Act of Elimination. And then, I believe afterwards, it said the last main story chapter. The last main story chapter will be released on October the 31st and will be available until the end of the game. The final chapter of the main story will be available to play until 11/14/2359. Once you have reached the ending of the final verse of the last chapter, you will no longer be able to log into your account. And it continues by saying, there is only a short time left until the end of service. But we hope you enjoy the events we have organized for you right through this. Thank you again for playing SINoALICE. Yeah. We're near the end. I'll be free. But I'll be sad. Like, the first month will probably just be like, oh yeah, I don't have to do this anymore. But then after, it's just gonna be like, oh, yeah? Oh no, all these people that I connected with, I wonder where they're gone. Because like I said, there's not another game that I am aware of that has as an amazing community like SINoAL. Oh yeah, that's all. Yep. To the dev team of SINoALICE Global the last 3 years, thank you for everything. And thank you for trying your best to keep SINoALICE Global alive up till now. Let's make all the memories that we can make in the last 2 months together. Shall we? Anyways, that's the end of my video. I will see you all at the end. And good luck in the next 2 Grand Hollows. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you later. Probably another video with a collab, I guess. But yeah. Bye bye. Oh, wait, hold up. Hold up. If you're my babe. Bye bye. And thank you.